I am Dixon, joined today by a band that you've been hearing a lot of on 95X, and they happen to be the most requested artist at the station right now. We're talking about the boys in Surf Curse, who have a great single called Freaks. Joining us today, Nick and Jacob. How are you, gentlemen?
Dixon!
God, you pulling our leg on that? That's crazy.
We didn't know we were requested.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where I feel like this song is like the little engine that could. I started it in specialty what seems like forever ago, and here we are, and it's exploding. You've got 200 million worldwide streams. And the great thing that a lot of people don't know, and I really wasn't aware of until a couple weeks ago, was that this isn't a new song. This is a song off an old album called Buds. How surreal has it been to have something from your past sort of lay the foundation for what's now a very bright future?
Oh, man.
It's interesting.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate. We didn't really do anything it just happened very organically, and we're just sort of sitting back and watching it, like the little train chug along, and
it feels great.
It feels amazing.
Yeah, and like having it play on the radio even is just such an exciting thing, and thank you for playing it. Like, we really, we're thrilled about it. Like, it's kind of like a dream come true.
Sometimes the past comes back to haunt you, and in this case, it's coming back to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one isn't an angry ghost. This one's more like Casper.
Yeah. That's great.
God, that's good.
I love that.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I adore what you guys do. I grew up on like hardcore and punk rock and music that had a certain level. Oh, yeah. I always forget what I'm wearing. I interviewed the Linda Lindas last night and sat down and realized I had an Old Dirty Bastard t-shirt on and was like, this is probably the wrong move. So I went and changed real quick. But like, I'm just that cliche Gen Xer that wears nothing but like my favorite bands on t-shirts. So
yeah, I've been doing that a lot too. I bought like a Pixies shirt for like $150, just so I can feel like I owe it to my younger self. So.
Well, I'm going to jump ahead because you just brought the Pixies up, and I'm going to jump around here a little bit to a different point I wanted to make. Just know I love the band. We'll get back to like the crux of that part, but like I love that you brought up the Pixies because like in doing research for this, I saw so many writers and reviewers compare you guys to Vampire Weekend in Block Party, which I guess I get in some ways. And don't get me wrong, I like both those bands. I do. There's worse bands to be compared to.
I agree. I don't know why. I don't know why that's in the research.
but one of my favorite things about you guys is how many different things you evoke from my musical sort of Rolodex. And while a lot of things come to mind, whether it's Kaiser Chiefs or Built to Spill or Wire, if you go way, way back, there's certain people that come to mind too, and Frank Black happens to be one of them, and another is Lou Barlow, who I get like heavy Lou Barlow vibes from you guys. And maybe this is me just being too much of a music nerd, or maybe I did too much LSD in high school, but like I almost feel like, especially on Heaven Surrounds You, the album you guys put out in 2019, I almost feel like I can hear the desert. With you guys being originally from Reno, like I get a vibe from these songs that I almost feel like I can hear that in the songs. And I know you guys have since migrated to LA. Is there still a sense of that desert vibe within what you guys are doing in the present day?
Well, just a part. I mean, like we've been a part of just so many different landscapes just because of touring and like traveling and ending up in different spots. It's like everything kind of inspires us because we just tend to meet different people and have different friendships like all over, so just everywhere just inspires us all the time.
I think we do feel like outsiders though. Like I always come into things with sort of an outsider perspective because it's like we grew up in Vegas and we're Nevada boys, like true and blue, like that is where our foundation comes from. So we go to LA or we go to these other places and it influences us, but it's always from like an outsider perspective. That's like, it's not, we are not in the world that we are like born with. It's not like in our blood, so yeah, I think it's very interesting. I mean, everything you said was just like stroking the ego so much. Like Frank Black, I mean, the Pixies were like my first favorite band ever, and like
that's how, I mean,
Blue and Sebado, like I mean, that is just like, that's my bread and butter. So it's cool that you can hear that in the music. Got a good ear.
I appreciate that, and I dig what you guys are doing a lot. In the word that I think comes to mind most in listening to Surf Curse is authenticity. There's a legitimacy to how these songs connect, at least to me as a listener. There's an honesty. There's a true theme of you guys in the music. And a lot of people, I think, when you think about 2021 and alternative music, a lot of things seem to be sort of on that edge of disposable, the way pop music has been over the course of time. So to see a truly authentic band with something to say that's doing something that's so vastly different from the majority of acts that are going to radio, it's inspirational for me, somebody that grew up amongst the hardcore and punk rock scene here in Syracuse and has done the traveling things with bands like Earth Crisis and whatnot throughout the country. It's great to see that this style of music is persevering. And I mentioned earlier that I chatted with the Lindas. To see a group of girls that are between 11 and 16 years old that I actually sat and talked to about Mike Watt and Firehose last night, it gives me hope for the future.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's cool. I mean, it's all out there, like you don't have to be any age to have knowledge anymore. You just have to be willing, you just have to like want to know. Like there's no gatekeepers anymore.
Yeah.
Or you can find it all. It's like the Matrix, you want to know kung fu, you just plug into your head. You want to know about Fugazi, just plug it into your head,
And that's another thing too, is like people, and young people especially, like they feel like that angst and that pain and that that teenage like heartache all the time, and like how like they just can access like things that they can relate to like so easily, which is like so amazing. Like the fact that you brought up like they listen to Mike Watt and Minutemen and stuff, it's just like that is so great and refreshing to hear, because like they're like it took so long for us to like discover the music that we were attracted to and that we had to like deep dive in. And like I mean our whole like youth was just us going to Best Buy to buy CDs, and just like take risks on album covers, or like doing the research of like, oh, why do they sound like this, like who did the Pixies like, or who does Nirvana like, who the heck is Daniel Johnston, like it's all these
right.
It's like it feels so good to like have that everything at our fingertips.
I remember buying Goo at Best Buy and I listened to it. I didn't understand it, or like I was like 14 years old, and I made myself listen to it every day until I liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
and now I come back and I love it, but it's just hilarious. I was trying so hard to be cool.
Well, I get that. You know what I mean? I'm a generation before you guys, so I definitely understand the whole going to the record store thing. Like for me, that's almost like a religious experience that a lot of young kids don't get to have anymore because of the digital age. Yeah. I mean, I'm from the generation that used to have to go, like I used to have to go to the newsstand and buy Maximum Rock and Roll. And then instead of even judging it by the album cover, like go by the name of the band and the title of the album that's in like the disco in the back, where you would have to like cross your fingers and hope that like the check gets there and you end up getting your records. And then 4 months later, they show up in the mail, like that kind of stuff. It's great for me that kids don't have to go through that anymore, and that they can literally, with a couple of clicks, get to places that took me months to get to. So I think it's a great thing that technology is brought to this next generation. And I think it keeps a lot of these older iconic artists alive.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. It's just interesting how we exist now. We exist in all times in space. It's weird, but it's cool.
It very much is. It very much is. Now, coming up, you guys have 2 live shows. One on the West Coast, Masonic Lodge. That's coming up September 16th. Is that one sold out, or are there still available tickets for that one?
Sold out.
Sold out. So both shows are sold out.
New York is not. You can still
New
buy
York
tickets.
is not. Okay, so Brooklyn, New York, the Warsaw. All right, the information I got was backwards. So the LA show is sold out. The Brooklyn show at the Warsaw is September 30th. There are still tickets available. That's a dope venue. I'm excited to see how the New York City audience takes you guys in, because I feel like you guys, in a weird way, really belong in that sort of setting, especially in Brooklyn. It was kind of cool to see that you were playing the Warsaw as opposed to like maybe a Manhattan venue.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting you say that, because you know, I used to live in New York, and I used to play shows like years ago with my other band, my other project, and it was always just like nobody there, and like I was very you know, jaded on like New York, and when we went back with Surf Curse, actually our first show there was pretty empty too, but then we go back. Every time we go back, it's like pretty crazy. Like the shows get really nuts, and like so it feels very good to play shows in New York. And we also started like demoing and recording our next album at Electric Lady Studios, and so we kind of have this like New York groove, this New York state of mind going on, and trying to make like our New York record, you know. So it's exciting to have that energy.
Very cool. Well, I know we're running short on time today, so I'll just simply say thank you very much for taking the time to do this. We wish you nothing but success. Keep those phones ringing, 315-629-9570. Hit us up. Tell us you want to hear the song, and we will most certainly play it. And speaking of playing it, I know you guys are going to do a version of that right now, and I'm just going to have you play us out. So Nick and Jacob, thank you very much for taking the time today. We genuinely appreciate it. This is 95X Live and Surf Curse.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Dixon. Thanks for playing us too. It's awesome, and you're really helping us out.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Place to stay where I can cover up my face. Don't cry, I am just a freak. 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 Parasites, black holes cover up my eyes. I dream of you almost every night. Hopefully I won't wake up this time. 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 Rock and roll.
Appreciate you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Appreciate you. Seriously.
Thanks, Dixon.
Very nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Hopefully we'll
You
talk
two guys.
soon.